The story begins in a sacred place within the kingdom of heaven called the Astrolabe of Destiny, also known as the Wheel of Destiny. This mystical wheel controls the fate of every living creature, both in the heavens and on earth. The scene then showing a goddess named Hua Ji, who comes from the Sky Kingdom. She devises a plan to strengthen a part of the heavens by using pieces of a colossal monster's body. However, the giant monster refuses to accept its fate. In the eyes of the kingdom of heaven, anyone who defies its will is considered a demon. Hua Ji, determined to carry out her plan, destroys the monster. Unexpectedly, the monster's body parts crash down to earth, forming a massive mountain. Not only that, the remnants of the monster's body also transform into cunning, ape-like creatures. One day, the Wheel of Destiny detects the mountain, and Hua Ji decides to obliterate it. This act of destruction angers the ape demons, who swear to take revenge on the heavens. 300 years later, the gods create a celestial academy with the goal of finding worthy individuals to become immortal beings. Among the candidates is Hua Ji's daughter, Goddess Azi. Unlike the others, Azi appears uninterested and indifferent about the selection process. As the Sky Academy ceremony is about to begin, Azi notices an ape-like demon named Sun Wukong. Intrigued, Wukong sneaks into the celestial kingdom and steals peaches and other delicacies. At that moment, Azi becomes suspicious of his actions and secretly follows him. Meanwhile, a high-ranking military officer in the celestial kingdom, Zhu Ling, attends a banquet with other officials. Despite his prestigious position, Zhu Ling behaves arrogantly and causes trouble, which is unbecoming of an official. During the ceremony, Zhu Ling sees a servant carrying his favorite guava fruit and demands that the servant be brought to him. Unexpectedly, when the servant refuses, Zhu Ling forcefully grabs him and prepares to punish him with a stick. Just as Zhu Ling is about to strike the servant, a man named Juan Lian, who is participating in the Celestial Academy, steps in to protect the servant by catching Zhu Ling's stick. Juan Lian witnesses the incident and acts to prevent further harm to the servant. Juan Lian's intervention angers Zhu Ling, who immediately attacks him. In response, Azi delivers a powerful kick to Zhu Ling's back, causing him to stumble and fall. Humiliated, Zhu Ling is about to attack Azi when a participant from the Stone Cave Academy intervenes to stop him. Despite his brave efforts, the young man is eventually thrown against the wall. Amid the chaos, Wukong suddenly leaps into action, using his quick and clever monkey moves to attack Zhu Ling. Angered, Zhu Ling commands his soldiers to capture Wukong, but the clever demon proves too strong and fast, easily defeating the soldiers. As always, Wukong brags about his strength, but Aziz scolds him for stealing the peaches. She grabs him by the hair to reprimand him for his mischief. Soon after, Tian Peng, the trusted assistant of Goddess Hua Ji, arrives to stop Wukong. Tian Peng is known for his incredible godlike powers, and no one dares to underestimate him. But Wukong, being a powerful demon, fights back fiercely. In a reckless moment, Wukong swings his giant stick at Tian Peng, but Aziz steps in just in time to stop the fight from getting worse. Wukong is shocked when Aziz stops his massive stick with just her finger. It turns out that Aziz's loyal bodyguard, Erlang Shun, has come to help her. This makes Wukong nervous because he realizes how strong Erlang is. Just one punch from him sends Wukong flying. Despite Wukong's determination, he is eventually captured and thrown into a heavily guarded prison. Meanwhile, Goddess Hua Ji is trying to figure out who caused all the trouble during the ceremony. She feels conflicted and regrets that Erlang got involved in the fight with Wukong, but she also doesn't want to punish her own daughter, Azi. Azi, however, feels guilty about her part in the incident and suggests that both she and Wukong should be punished. Hua Ji is touched by Aziz's sense of responsibility and isn't sure what to do. In a kind gesture, Azi gives her mother a talisman as a gift. When Tian Peng sees the talisman, it reminds him of his girlfriend, Goddess Ayu. Apparently, she had once given him a magical stone that could glow, and the talisman brings back fond memories for Tian Peng. Meanwhile, Erlang is locked up with Wukong. Even though he's in prison, Erlang doesn't complain because he knows he made a mistake by interfering in the fight. Later, Goddess Huaji comes to release him, which upsets Wukong because he feels he's being treated unfairly. However, his mood changes when the goddess gives him a golden crown. What Wukong doesn't know is that the crown is a tool to control him. Every time the goddess casts a spell, Wukong feels terrible pain. Seeing Wukong suffer, Azi feels sorry for him and decides to take charge. She offers to punish Wukong herself so her mother can leave. In response, the goddess gives Azi a golden scepter to use as a way to discipline the mischievous monkey demon. When Wukong slowly regains consciousness, he remembers a vivid dream about his past. In the dream, an old man saved him when he was still an ape. This old man turned him into a human and locked away most of his power. This means that the strength Wukong has been using all this time is only a small part of what he's truly capable of. Meanwhile, Erlang faces a strange and difficult fate planned by Goddess Huaji. Apparently, the goddess wants to unlock the power of Erlang's third eye, but to do this, he must forget all his past memories, including those of Azi. Eventually, Erlang finds himself trapped in the Wheel of Fate, struggling to gain this new power while losing everything he once cared about. As Goddess Huaji deals with the aftermath of the recent chaos, Azi feels sorry for Wukong and secretly takes care of him. She shaves off his long hair, which annoys him, and then asks him to become her servant in exchange for freeing him from punishment. At first, Wukong refuses, but he eventually agrees because Azi can control the golden crown that causes him pain. Despite this, Wukong is still angry about being treated like a pet and tries to ambush Azi. Instead of fighting, they end up just staring at each other, leaving Azi feeling embarrassed. After being released, Wukong looks out at the celestial kingdom from a distance. He remembers his anger toward the Wheel of Fate and Goddess Huaji. Apparently, he feels ready to take action after spending hundreds of years learning from the old man who saved him when he was still an ape. The next day, Wukong and the others take a tour of the celestial kingdom. It's a stunning experience for everyone. The guide explains the history and importance of different places in the palace, and Wukong is amazed by its beauty and grandeur. But his mind is still focused on his grudge against Goddess Huaji and the Wheel of Fate. When they enter the room of the Wheel of Fate, Wukong realizes he has stolen the keys to the room and hidden them in Juan Lian's bag. Inside, Goddess Huaji explains how the Wheel of Fate works and how it led to the destruction of Guaboa Mountain. Hearing this, Wukong's anger grows, and he can feel the demon inside him stirring. Fortunately, before Wukong can act, Azi steps forward and speaks out against her mother's decisions. She admits that she has never liked the Wheel of Fate and believes it has caused more harm than good. At the same time, Wukong is surprised by Azi's courage, but he can't let go of his anger toward her because she is the daughter of Goddess Huaji. In an attempt to control Wukong, Goddess Huaji tells him about the destruction of Guaboa Mountain, knowing it will awaken the demon stone inside him. She then orders her loyal guard, Tian Peng, to get rid of Wukong if he causes any trouble. The next day, Wukong is determined to reach the Wheel of Fate. To get the key, he tricks Juan Lian into going to the kitchen, giving him the chance to steal it. He sneaks onto the bridge that leads to the Wheel of Fate, but before he can enter the room, Erlang confronts him, determined to stop him. Moments later, the two clash in a fierce battle, each fighting with all their strength to win. Despite Wukong's best efforts, Erlang overpowers him and defeats him. To make matters worse, Tian Peng steps in to help Erlang, following Goddess Huaji's orders to kill Wukong. As the battle between Wukong, Erlang, and Tian Peng rages on, Azi and Juan Lian try to step in and stop the fight. But Wukong destroys the bridge, causing everyone to fall to earth, landing on Mount Guaboa. Even though Erlang and Tian Peng try to defeat Wukong and stop the demon stone from rising again, they discover that their powers are weakened on the mountain. Without their magical abilities, they are forced to fight using only their physical strength. Meanwhile, Azi and Juan Lian notice a group of villagers gathering nearby. The villagers are approaching cautiously, believing that anything falling from the sky must be a demon. As a result, they see Azi and her companions as a threat. In response, Azi quickly goes to talk to them, explaining that they are not demons but travelers caught in a battle. Just as Azi and Juan Lian try to calm the villagers, they see a dark cloud approaching, filled with flashing lightning. The villagers panic, thinking the curse that has haunted their village for years is returning. They rush into their homes and lock their doors, leaving a small child outside, crying and alone. As the cloud demon moves toward the child, a beautiful woman suddenly appears and shields the little girl. Surprisingly, the woman is Ayu, Tian Peng's girlfriend, who was banished from the Celestial Kingdom and has been living on Earth ever since. While Ayu protects the child, Tian Peng arrives and joins her to fight off the cloud demon. Together, they manage to defeat the demon and save the child. After saving Ayu and the little girl, Tian Peng is unexpectedly pulled into a cave by the demon, leaving the rest of the group outside. Wukong and Erling quickly pull back to avoid being dragged in as well. Unexpectedly, Aziz steps forward, grabs an ice arrow from Juan Lian's quiver, and shoots it at the clouds, freezing the demon temporarily. The next day, Tian Peng finally woke up and was cared for by Ayu. However, she didn't seem to remember their past relationship. At one moment, Tian Peng hugged her, which made Ayu feel uneasy. Ayu then explained that she had lost her memory and couldn't recall anything since she was banished from the Celestial Kingdom. On the other hand, Wukong and Erling were shocked to wake up tied with ropes. They soon realized it was Azi who had bound them to stop their fighting. Azi explained that she needed their help to defeat the cloud demon, which had caused a terrible drought in the area. After some convincing, Wukong and Erling agreed to help, and Tian Peng joined them as well. Together, they came up with a plan to trick the cloud demon. Moments later, they decided to darken the sky using large pieces of fabric and used Juan Lian's freezing weapon to trap the demon. Despite this, they still had to wait for the right moment to act. The following day, the people of Mount Guabuo spread a huge cloth on the ground to attract the cloud demon. As expected, the demon appeared, and Wukong leaped into action. Archers stood ready, their arrows aimed at the demon, prepared to freeze it with Juan Lian's weapon. At the same time, Tian Peng threw a flaming torch onto the cloth, creating a fake sun to lure the demon closer. As the demon approached the cloth, the team covered the sky with fabrics, blocking the sunlight and making it look like nighttime. The demon fell for the trap, and Wukong fired the ice cannon, freezing the creature in place. The demon struggled to escape, but it was no use, it was trapped. Suddenly, the sky opened up and heavy rain poured down on Mount Guabuo. The villagers watched with joy as the rain filled their dry wells and brought life back to their crops. Everyone was grateful to the gods who had helped them. Despite the victory, Tian Peng felt sad because Ayu still didn't remember him. He couldn't ignore his feelings for her and decided to give her a flaming stone necklace as a symbol of his love. Shortly after, the villagers were seen relieved to have defeated the cloud demon and were enjoying the newfound water. But their peaceful night was interrupted when snow began to fall and a celestial warrior appeared. Juan Lian recognized the danger and tried to talk to the soldier, hoping to avoid a fight. Unfortunately, the warrior refused to listen and attacked Juan Lian with powerful strikes. The falling snow turned into sharp, icy spikes, which the soldier used as weapons against him. Seeing the danger, Juan Lian desperately urged the villagers to run as the soldier rained down sharp snow on them. Despite his warnings, the villagers bravely stood their ground to protect their home. But the soldiers' attacks were too strong for them. Shortly after, Wukong, Azi, and Erling rushed to help, but it was too late. The villagers, including Ayu, lay lifeless on the ground. Filled with anger and sorrow, Wukong charged at the celestial soldier and began a fierce battle. Meanwhile, Azi tried to help Wukong, but was captured by the soldier's allies and locked inside a nearby building. As Wukong lay dying, Goddess Huaji descended from the heavens to see what had happened. She was horrified by the scene before her. Not only that, she also noticed Azi standing near Wukong and felt deeply disappointed that her daughter would side with a monkey demon. Without hesitation, she ordered her soldiers to retreat and then destroyed the entire village, along with everyone in it. Back in the Sky Kingdom, chaos erupted after the events on Earth. Azi was being punished by her mother, Goddess Huaji, for for helping Wukong and disobeying her orders. Erlang, who had always been loyal to Hua Ji, visited Azi. At that moment, Erlang seemed unharmed and revealed that Wukong was also imprisoned, but had chosen to endure his pain rather than accept death. Shocked by the news, Azi begged Erlang to let her see Wukong. Erlang hesitated but finally agreed, warning Azi to hide her true feelings. He advised her to pretend to hate Wukong, believing it would ease his suffering and allow him to die in peace. Heartbroken but determined, Azi went to Wukong's cell. She immediately put on an act, pretending to be angry and bitter, hoping Wukong wouldn't see through her lies. When Azi reached him, she saw Wukong in terrible pain, his body twisting and writhing. It was hard for her to keep up her act, but she managed to deliver her harsh words convincingly. Wukong, believing Azi truly hated him, closed his eyes and prepared for death. Slowly, his body began to turn to ash. Even though Wukong was gone, Azi remained determined to continue his mission of destroying the Wheel of Fate. Meanwhile, Goddess Hua Ji was helping Erlang awaken his third eye and let go of his worldly desires. As she watched over Erlang, the old man who had once helped Wukong appeared. He brought Wukong back to life and urged him to complete his revenge against Goddess Hua Ji. Not long after, Wukong returned to Guabuo Mountain to retrieve his giant stick and fully transformed into an ape demon, embracing his true power. He set out to destroy the Wheel of Fate and all of Hua Ji's followers. To strengthen his forces, Wukong freed the Cloud Demons, who joined him in his quest to reach the Sky Kingdom. When Wukong and his army arrived in the Sky Kingdom, they launched an immediate attack, overpowering the celestial troops. Despite Zhu Ling's fear, Wukong revealed his true identity as an ape demon. At that moment, the masked warriors tried to stop him, but they were no match for his newfound strength. With a single strike of his staff, Wukong defeated them easily. As he fought, Wukong couldn't stop thinking about the villagers who had died because of the celestial forces. This fueled his anger and strengthened his resolve to bring down Goddess Hua Ji and end her reign of terror. Meanwhile, the battle in the sky raged on. Erlang's third eye finally opened, and Goddess Hua Ji watched with pride. However, her daughter, Azi, stood against her, accusing her of using Erlang to gain power. Azi made the brave decision to side with Wukong and his allies, turning her back on her mother. At the same time, Tian Peng, who had been brought back to life by the old man who once helped Wukong, arrived in the Celestial Kingdom. He joined Wukong, determined to help him and avenge Yu's death. The scene then shifts to Goddess Hua Ji's place, where Azi is held captive. She is being strangled for trying to destroy the Wheel of Fate. Unexpectedly, Hua Ji, who has lost all kindness, beats Azi mercilessly until she is barely alive. Just as it seems there is no hope left, Wukong bursts in. Using his incredible strength, he rescues Azi from her mother's grasp. At the same time, Tian Peng also returns to the Celestial Kingdom, ready to fight alongside Wukong to avenge Yu's death. Together, they battle the remaining Celestial Warriors while Azi lies unconscious in Wukong's arms. Despite their courage, they are outnumbered and overpowered by Goddess Hua Ji's army. Tian Peng bravely faces Hua Ji in a one-on-one fight, determined to avenge his fallen comrade. But Hua Ji's power is too great, and Tian Peng is killed for the second time. Seeing this, Wukong destroys Goddess Hua Ji's protective shield. He engages in a fierce battle with her, but is suddenly attacked by Erlang from behind. Even though Hua Ji warns Wukong that Erlang has become immortal and unbeatable, Wukong refuses to back down. He continues to fight, but Erlang's strength is overwhelming. After the fight, Goddess Hua Ji descends to congratulate Erlang for supposedly killing Wukong. To her shock, Wukong is still alive. Erlang, unable to forget Azi, decides to disobey orders and no longer serve anyone. This enrages Hua Ji, who transforms into a terrifying demon. Despite the goddess's immense power, Wukong and Erlang stand together to face her. Even as Hua Ji becomes a monstrous demon, Wukong remains fearless, encouraged by Erlang's support. Together, they fight fiercely, determined to destroy the Wheel of Fate once and for all. The battle is long and brutal, with both sides unleashing their most powerful attacks. But Wukong and Erlang refuse to give up, their determination driving them forward. Finally, they manage to defeat Hua Ji and shatter the Wheel of Fate. With the fight over, Wukong and Erlang part ways, but not before Erlang warns Wukong that he will still be hunted one day. Moral lesson from the story: if you fight a giant monster, make sure its body parts don't turn into a mountain and angry ape demons who love peaches. Also, never trust a golden crown. It's probably a trap to give you a headache.